Do what I want.
Welcome to the Red Light District Show's Conspiracy Theory
Corner.
Iceberg.
Oh.
This is Tier 2.
Yes.
And as you know, these are all just theories. This isn't something for real.
Are they, though?
So please don't take it. Some of them could be real.
What if it's for real, though? You can't say
And
it's
you
not for
can
real.
believe what you want to believe. But we're not coming on a soapbox or a pedestal saying,
none of
hey,
it's
guys,
real, damn it."
listen to us.
Yeah.
This is just telling you what they are.
Take it what they're going to say.
And we'll give our opinions on them, and you yourself could decide whether or not this is real, or you might believe it's real. So here we go. Tier 2, first theory. Lucid dreaming. Anybody know about lucid dreaming?
I do that all the
Bit
time.
about lucid dreaming,
Who does, on a serious level, have you lucid dreamed before? You? I don't trust you.
I tried to get to that point, but I never did.
What about you?
Oh, all the time.
What is it? What is lucid dreaming? I'll read it. A lucid dream is a type of dream in which
control your
the
dream.
dreamer
Yeah.
becomes aware of that
Fucking
they're
awesome.
dreaming. During a lucid dream, the
Haven't
dreamer
done
may gain some amount of control over the dream characters, narrative, environment. However, this is not
like a
actually
video game.
necessary for a dream to be described as lucid. Lucid dreaming has been studied and reported for many years. Prominent figures from ancient to modern times have been fascinated by lucid dreaming and have sought ways to better understand their causes and purpose. Many different theories have emerged, and as a result of the scientific research on the subject, have been shown in pop culture. Further developments in psychology research have pointed to ways in which this form of dreaming may be utilized as a form of sleep therapy. What do you know about it, bud?
I know you can become self-conscious of a dream and then actually control your dream. Like if you have those dreams where on some kind of journey you're going somewhere, you can actually manipulate that and go through different things. I do it all the time. One example is I was in this dream and I was stressing out about some stuff, and it was like a video game. There was this garage and it was full of all these biker type like thug guys, and I had to get through the room without being killed by them. But lucky for me, hanging above them all from these two chains is an AK-47. So I need to get to the AK-47 to kill everybody in the room to get out of the room.
You have like a video game dream.
It was like that. It was interesting. And then I have all these paranormal
GTA
dreams
5.
that I get from going to the paranormal shit. And I'm always ending up in some weird fucking haunted house or some weird haunted building, you know, and I'm going down these hallways and stuff, and everything's real detailed. So you can actually take control of your dream to do whatever you want.
What about you? What do you know about it?
I studied it for a while, like internet shit, and I tried. They recommend ways of trying to get to the point where you can do it, like keeping a dream journal, and you start by remembering your dreams, and then you go from remembering your dreams to try to interact with them in the past tense, like after you have the dream, then meditate about it, and then try to get, and eventually you develop the ability to remain conscious while you're dreaming.
That's the trick. That's golden.
That's good for me.
You don't just, it happens sometimes. Like I've had one dream in my life where it happened to me, but it was spontaneous. It wasn't based on anything that I was doing. Just, whatever circumstances were going on in my life, it happened, and I remembered it.
And you can tell between like regular dreams and those kind of dreams, because I have a dream journal. When those kind of dreams pop up, I'll write it down just to see if there's some kind of connection between the two. One was pretty detailed, and I was walking by this white building, small building, like an apartment building or whatever, and I threw a grenade in the window and had to get away from the building before it blew up, and it blew up. So, but there was like other details to it that made it interesting. So I woke up, I'm like, holy shit! Got my dream journal out on my computer and just started putting it down just to have the notes. Because the day's gonna come up and you're gonna forget the dream. So.
Yeah. And that's exactly how I fucked up, because I used to do that, and now the only one I remember, because then you forget. There's like two dreams I used to have, and that I would constantly have them over and over again. One is a reflective pool of water, and I turn into a droplet, and it just drops, and it just ripples forever and ever, and it would be a constant cycle of that. It's just a mirror room of water, and then drop, drop, drop. I was able, and for when I was younger, I had it so many times over and over again. I remember, okay, I'm dreaming. And then the more recent one, you can even ask Sean about this.
He was in my dream. You can ask him.
Huh?
Yeah, you can ask Sean. He was in my dream.
Yeah, no. I told him the story. I told him
Okay.
the story. So similar with the video game, except mine at the end turned into like 16-bit, like Super Nintendo. So it was me and Sean in a van, and for whatever reason, he's driving, and he's turning right hard on a corner, and he's driving like 80 miles per hour. Like, oh shoot, dude, you need to slow down. You're going too fast. You're going to turn over. And exactly what happened. He ends up turning the tilts the van over. Everything goes slow motion. I know this is a dream. So I ended up telling him, hey, Sean, like, if anything happens, dude, I love you. You know, you're my boy. He's the same thing. Crash, go into the sewer. And I go, hey, Sean, are you awake? You're like, yeah. And then when we exit the car, it turns into like 16-bit like zombie thing where me and Sean are like almost like Contra when we're shooting like these zombies trying to get out of this level of a video game. It was so awesome. I remember that part because it was just so cool how the normal dream like in a 4D dimensional thing kind of thing, and they just turned to 16-bit. It was awesome.
All right, let's go. MK Ultra.
Oh,
The MK Ultra project was a code name for a illegal human experimentation program designed and undertaken by the U.S. Central of Intelligence
This is real.
Agency.
Yeah.
The experiments were intended to develop procedures and identify drugs such as LSD that could be used in interrogations to weaken the individuals and force confessions to manipulate its subjects. Well, I don't put it past them. They've actually already declassified some documents on this.
Oh,
Yeah.
And it's shown to be. So I don't think this is a conspiracy theory. I think this has been confirmed.
Yeah, this
It's
is not a
conspiracy
conspiracy
fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's an old story too. It
Yeah.
starts for the United States. It starts way back with Project Paperclip.
But
But
Project Paperclip.
it existed the therapy
the project, real
that
fast.
they use.
Project Paperclip is when the U.S. brought over all the Germans, scientists,
Yeah, it was scientists
from Nazi
and
Germany.
a few hundred medical doctors.
Is that
and
on there?
Some other
Not in-
individuals
so far.
also.
it might be on there.
It's gonna
All in
eventually
all-
be
All
there.
in all, it was something like 400 or 500 people
That's believable.
that used to work for the Nazis.
And
the
that's
Third
not
Reich.
But the thing is,
that's not a conspiracy either,
No, it's
because
not. No, that
Werner
happened.
von Braun, who was a Nazi,
He was
He
a benefactor
was
of
also-
Project Paperclip.
the leader of NASA.
a lot of things that they did we still use today, beneficial stuff. So it's one of those catch-22s where it's a horrible thing that kind of happened because they were Nazis, but the beneficial is it was for the greater good of stuff that we actually implement today.
You know, that's just because you don't know
It's
the
hard.
full details of it.
It's hard to say that. But I don't know. I'm not even going to speak on
You
it.
don't think so? I thought. Am I wrong? I mean, I don't know.
I
That's
know
what
that's
thought.
what the intention was. You don't want to lose all that knowledge.
Yeah,
But that's not what it was all about, dude.
but that's one of the benefits of that.
But way
Don't you
more,
think?
Yeah,
way
but
more
when you're
forward things
judging
came from
it, you know, it's like, whoa, you know.
Well, yeah, but if something bad like that happened, at least there was some good.
And I guarantee you,
I'm
you're
a
not
more of
gonna-
a glass half full kind of guy.
And I guarantee you, you're not going to give a shit about the benefits if you're
It's
one
not
of the
good,
people
dude.
they abducted.
Exactly. Hypnosis. To me, I don't think anyone can really get hypnotized. Or I can't. They've tried to do it, and you can't.
It'd
They
be
can't
easy-
work on you.
It'd be easy to get you to switch consciousness like that. You're simple.
Well,
I
we
don't
asked the
think
guy,
so.
we'll
Wait, are
ask
you
the
talking about
man.
the kind that like is at the fair and they try to do? Or you've been?
Yes,
you've
that's
gone
what
to
I'm
the
talking
real-
about.
See, that's
real
not
ones?
that's not what hypnotism is.
That's
There's
not
like real ones.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's
I'm not-
possible, but the one at the fair and those ones at comedy shows and stuff, I've gone on the stage, cut volunteer for that, and that's such crap. I just pretend, and then they end up kicking you off because then it doesn't even work.
Okay.
Yeah, hypnosis as a real practice can be an
Beneficial.
effective tool.
Yeah.
Okay. And have you partake?
Yeah, both ways.
And do you? What happens in that? How can you be uncontrol of your body?
You're not. You're still in control of yourself. It's just when someone is in a hypnotic trance, you're communicating with a different portion of their mind.
Yeah, you're not out of
communicating
control.
with their subconscious,
And
not
there,
with
and that's
their
what's
conscious
talking.
mind. It's still you. It's your subconscious mind.
How do you
as an
not?
entity.
How do you allow that to happen?
You have to lower that.
You're allowing it to happen all the time. We are constantly, as being conscious beings, we are constantly in one state of trance or another.
To be in a hypnotic state, you have to take all the stuff that you get up and you go out in the world and you got all these defenses up. You need to like relax your body, relax your mind, just become into a certain level, and that way, when people talk to you and stuff, you're not blocking everything. You're not using that regular consciousness. that's blocking you from letting things out, the subconscious is opening it up and letting things flow out of you.
Think of it this way: like your subconscious is behind a doorway,
So
and your conscious mind is the guardian of that doorway. Hypnosis is simply just speaking to the person within the doorway, while the consciousness just is giving.
well, how do you
something else
know
do.
to talk to or how to talk to that person?
What do you mean?
Because at any given time, I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. I'm in control still.
Because you're not lowering your guard. You're not opening yourself
Well,
up.
because I wouldn't be talking to your consciousness.
So
I'd
you
be-
would
I'd
know
be
how to
talking
talk to
your
the
subconscious.
So you would know how to talk to my conscious to
Yeah,
let me
yeah, you can
answer those questions.
You can learn. People have learned to become very good at inducting others.
Well,
into
maybe we should do a show about
hypnosis.
this. Put that on the list, Ice.
We should do a show about this. As a child, I grew up and I went to a hypnotherapist in Los Angeles, and I went to an institute, and I know a lot about it actually.
You know, there's actually a lot of stories with hypnotherapy in the 80s and 90s, and a lot of interesting details from those hypnotherapy sessions led to a lot of the declassification of MK Ultra papers.
This was in the 70s.
I have it
Excuse me,
like
raw,
yeah.
the raw, like when they're
Yeah,
really
yeah.
getting into it. So I can tell you about the stuff that we did. HMI, you can look it up. It's still in Los Angeles.
And to the there's something, it was called a moral panic. The Satan eats babies crisis in the 90s. That was also a lot of the origins of that, and a lot of the case study of that came originally from hypnotherapist notes.
well, all right, let's do a whole show on this one. I actually have here bullshit, and then I moved on.
Nice.
So
Well,
the
that's
next
just
one,
his opinion.
so everything so far has been, I mean, to our
Bubble.
yeah, true, right?
Well, but there's aspects to it that are embellished too. Like people take it and then they add it to
Add
other
to it, make it
conspiracy
all
theories,
dramatic.
or
Anything they don't understand becomes a cult,
or
All right, the
incorporate
next
it into
the
their
next
own-
thing is fluoride, which is put into public water,
which is metal.
which is true. So in order to help fight dental cavities, but the conspiracy to that is it helps dull
It's
the
a
human
sedative.
and it's a sedative.
It's a mild sedative.
That's right.
What do you think? Do you think that this one is? Does anybody know anything in particular? Why are they putting fluoride in our water?
Well, that was
Keep it
the
at
whole
ease.
thing of it, right? That's their official story. The official story behind it is that it was
Cavities.
It was a decision by the American Dental Association to add it to aid in the prevention of cavities and the hardening of
Really?
teeth enamel.
We're just going to put all this metal in this water because everyone's going to have better teeth.
Because the
doesn't
way
make
they
sense.
sold it was that it was beneficial to
And it's still going on to this day.
your dental.
Yeah, and they put it in
Health.
toothpaste.
It's
Just
Yeah.
chew it
one
on
part
up, man. It's
per
great.
million.
Wait, so it's in
So
it-
it's able. It's probably so you can be penetrated through marketing, right?
What?
Wait,
What are you ta-
are we still talking about fluoride?
Yeah, fluoride.
Yeah, that's throwing the
That
nerf
was a
ball
strange
little
word to
deep
throw in
me,
there
though.
for fluoride.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if this is true, right? What do you mean? They're just gonna make people just be. I mean, people who they are. If you're aggressive, you're aggressive.
Is it in our tap water or in our drinking water or both?
Tap water.
Okay,
Tap water.
that's why I don't ever drink tap water.
And a lot of times it is still in bottled water because
have
most
to read
bottled
that
water
bitch.
most bottled water is tap water that's been filtered. And you can't really filter
That's
it
the
out because
purified
it's-
bottled water. I only
there's
drink
not a lot
mountain
of it in
spring
it.
water.
That's why I always drink Fiji water, baby.
Well, that's pretty.
Because like you said, it's how many parts per million? Like
fuck,
most
there's-
filters won't even go down to that level. There's no
and there's a
need
lot
to-
of sodium in water too, like just normal water like this. Like Aquafina has 30 grams.
Yeah,
That's
it's a-
sort of
it's a
crazy.
preservative.
There's magnesium in here.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, drink up the metal, dude.
I mean, you don't think that's insane? Like salt.
There's salt in the water.
No, it's
for
common
flavor.
for electrolytes also.
And it's also
hydration.
because that's happening. It's not as absorbent in your
Chlorine.
body, so it just goes straight through.
No, having salinity actually makes water more absorbent for your body
Hmm.
because the water in your body is closer to a saline solution or to seawater than it is to pure
Regular
water.
water. Yeah.
The distinctive
Maybe
taste
I'm
of
getting
Fiji
bamboozled. All right, Cicada 3301
Oh.
is a nickname
Oh,
given
I love
to
that
the
one.
entity
That's
that
awesome.
posted 3 sets of puzzles online between 2012 and 2014. The first internet puzzle started on January 4th, 2012, on a 4chan and ran nearly a month. The second round began exactly 1 year later, January 4th, 2013, and then a third round following the confirmation of a fresh clue posted on Twitter on January 4th, 2014. The third puzzle has yet to be solved. The stated intent was to recruit intelligent individuals by presenting a series of puzzles to be solved. No new puzzles were published on January 4th, 2015. A new clue was posted on Twitter on January 5th, 2016. Cicada 3301 posted their last verified open PGP signed message in April 2017, denying the validity of any unsigned puzzle.
So hard.
The puzzles focus heavily on data security, cryptographs, stenographs, and internet anonymity.
Dude, why are you looking at web pages that you can't pronounce shit on?
Code breaking.
It has been called the most elaborate and mysterious puzzle of the internet age and listed as one of the top 5 eeriest unsolved mysteries of the internet. Mm-hmm. What do you know, bud?
Cicada's cool because there's a lot of real world interaction with the specter itself. In this case, the Cicada group.
International.
Yeah, I spent a lot of hours rabbit holing the shit. The most popular theories that people have come up with that I have seen are that it was they believe that who was behind it was either some clandestine organization like DARPA or the CIA or something like that.
Looking for smart people.
Looking for recruiters, looking for code breakers. But yeah, and they do from time to time do things like that. They do have a record of putting unsolvable or seemingly unsolvable puzzles in like benign places. And then whoever solves the puzzle, it's like a phone number, and you dial the line, and
they tell you some instructions.
Yeah, it's like some fucking NSA guy in a basement. Like, congratulations, a van is on the way. You know,
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. happens all the time.
Which I don't doubt because they do have a history of doing that kind of shit. And
it's almost kind of scary to actually finish the puzzle if you think about it.
I don't know. When I looked at a lot of because I didn't actually break any of the code. I just looked at the results that people had gotten. And there's a couple of people who claimed that they solved it.
Yeah.
And had the final conversation with whomever.
Yeah.
But both of the individuals who claim that, it's largely thought that they're fraudulent.
Yeah, because you would figure if they solve the puzzle, you're never going to hear from these people ever again.
Yeah. I think it's something deeper. It's got to be like
CIA.
No, I
FBI?
think honestly, I think it's the Rosicrucians.
What is that?
Because it fits their MO.
Wow, that's a pretty old group.
It fits their MO. Okay. When you think about how the Rosicrucians came to light in, I believe it was the 16th century.
Yeah. Who are they attached to?
In 16th century France. There we go. Was it France?
It was in France.
Yeah, it was Voltaire's France.
Yeah.
And people noticed there was a bunch of postings placed around town about joining an intellectual order not based on religion, dedicated to the propagation of mankind. It was like a large posting that was up on like church doors and rec hall doors and things, places where people would gather for forum.
In the bars.
And they were there for maybe I don't know. I think it was like a period of time, like a month or 2 months, and then vanished, and no one ever heard anything about them again until like the '60s. And they have a temple in L.A. Down near Rosecrans, and they're just that's their MO. As they say, they're for the betterment of mankind without using religion or any type of spirituality in that way as a basis for it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they're a trip. But I think it was them because it fits their MO. There have been a couple of other times in history where people have believed that they had popped up recruiting members. And, after that first time in France, the subsequent times were kind of looked at as hoaxes. But it's still that same MO of placing items in the real world to be recovered that, are encrypted and lead you to a certain place. It's kind of their thing.
All right, I'm going to go over. I'm going to go 2 over real fast. The Mcfly code is that they believe that they predicted in Back to the Future 9/11. If you look at the clock, it's at 9 and 11. They also predicted there's a when he comes back from the future.
There's like a thing with the Libyan terrorists too.
The mall.
That's not true. The clock tower is 11 something. It's not at 9.
11 and 9. I don't know. Look it up, dude.
Okay.
And dowsing. Dowsing is when you have rods and you go and look for water,
I never heard of that.
the vibration.
Yeah, not like Patty and Agree did that.
All right. Rear Admiral Byrd. This is one I would like to get into. After World War II, the United States Navy had a huge fleet of ships and thousands of sailors that suddenly didn't have a war on their hands. Admiral Byrd approached the Secretary of the Navy, James Forrestal, and the Chief of Naval Operations, Chester Nimitz, to suggest a new expedition to Antarctica would be an ideal way to utilize some of these resources. They agreed, so Operation High Jump was launched in 1946 with Rear Admiral Byrd in overall command. It was the largest expedition to Antarctica.
What they didn't know.
They also went to the south, the North and South Pole. On the North Pole is something called Agartha. People suggest was Agartha. Agartha is a landmass, another continent above the North Pole. As far as the South Pole, there's something that they found in Antarctica that within a few months of the findings of what was happening, they signed a treaty with everybody on the world stating that no one's going to go there and no one can claim any land in there. That's just free land.
That sounds funny business.
Well, the compact of Antarctica was that it was only to be used for scientific development.
Yeah, that's why they all have those stations out there.
And prior or despite or whatever, it's not illegal to go there. It's illegal to go there unescorted because it's
a research facility.
extraordinarily deadly just to get there. And to be there is even more so. So they just don't allow people to just go along all willy-nilly or show. And it's not fucking patrolled or anything like that. If you have means, if you have means, you can get there on your own.
There's people who have went there after big world events. One of them being George W. Bush, another one being John Kerry after the presidential race.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to believe 2004. John Kerry versus Bush.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Well, I mean, it's a massive research facility, and we do pump a lot of money into
I mean, you don't think that's
what's
funny
going on
that
down there.
we're all of the world, the world signs a treaty that we're not going to go there
Well, they just
within 3 months of that all happening?
The treaty doesn't say that. That's a misconception.
What does it say? I must have been. I mean,
it says just that. It agrees that the nations who signed the treaty agreed to not develop colonies there.
But how? I mean, why would that be
and to
so
only
soon?
use it for research.
I think
and
that
when do
research
we?
Purposes.
There's something.
When do we agree to
Like
anything?
what?
There's
What are you
something-
thinking is there?
Well, they're slowly starting to tell you there's stuff there.
Well, the
Well,
biggest rumor I've heard.
there's a
or the
pyramid
biggest-
there.
The biggest
There's a
thing
pyramid.
that I've heard-
I know a guy who went there.
To the
It's so
pyramid.
huge.
He went to Antarctica to one of the research stations. They actually let him in there and escorted him in to do a paranormal investigation with 3
anybody can
locations
go.
in there.
Anyone can go. You just
Yeah.
have to apply.
He was
and
escorted.
sign up.
He did 3 different locations, and he was like hanging out with the Russian guys one night, and they were like partying and
But
drinking
do you think they're
vodka
gonna?
and shit.
You think they're gonna just show you to take? They're gonna just take you to the place. They're gonna take you to the fake place and just be like, "Here you go. There's nothing to hear. Haha," and then go home.
The one that I always heard that I liked was that it's the site of the Gate and the Guardian.
That's probably true.
That's there.
I was thinking Atlantis.
Well, that's I know that's also.
And I
another
think that's true because
popular theory also.
they've went down the depths and pulled out like tropical fucking.
I
water
also
and shit.
heard that it's
Pull
where
out a
Hitler
mango?
stored
Yeah,
the
close enough.
the
Ark of the Covenant.
No, the Scythe of Longinus.
Oh,
The
shit.
spear.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's another.
Well, I mean, no matter what, there's mystery
that a
surrounding
Jesus
that
there?
place, and
the Scythe of
a lot of
Longinus,
people.
the spear point that pierced the side of Christ.
That's what I'm saying. The
Yeah,
Jesus theory.
Longinus. He was
Yeah.
blind. And he was like had shitty vision, and then the blood of Christ got on his eyes. and
Supposedly,
he
anyone
better.
who carries it is invulnerable.
Unless they go up against it.
All right, weather
Spirit of
control
Destiny.
and harp.
Well, that's what it is. It's the spear of destiny. It's
We know that this is true, correct?
I need to talk about this. Right
Harp.
Yeah.
Yeah, harp is
It was
Weather-
used.
the
It was
weather
used
changing.
in Vietnam.
well, harp is it's a program that was started by DARPA.
It's in Alaska.
Yeah. Well, there's two conspiracy theories with the harp title. One is the weather altering device supposedly that they built in Alaska,
And then
and there's also another component of it somewhere too, allegedly.
it says that it will create earthquakes as well.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can use it to
Extreme
do
weather
all kinds of
events,
shit.
tectonic activity.
You don't really need that to make earthquakes.
Yeah.
Well, all right then.
But any
maybe I don't.
supervillain would want that.
I'm gonna say I don't know about this
Dr.
one.
Evil?
However,
when I read about Hart, when I was first like crawling down rabbit holes of that, I thought I just was reading shit for like hours one night. I just looked up. I was like, holy fuck, our government has become Cobra. They are literally fucking Cobra.
Right,
With the
'cause
fucking weather dominance.
we know that they ended up seed clouding in Vietnam, right?
They did
Or
a
is
lot
that
of
a- is
shit
that a conspiracy
They
theory?
did a lot of shit involving pouring massive amounts of chemicals into the ground during Vietnam and Korea.
Okay. Is that a conspiracy theory that they made it rain?
They
For
weren't
just
trying to
weeks,
make it
months,
rain.
years?
They were pouring psychedelics and other drugs.
Yeah.
Oh,
In the jungle out there, it rained all the time.
Yeah, they
It
were
was
seeding.
jungle.
so
They were
humid.
seeding the
So
clouds.
rain wasn't important. It was
Yeah.
what was in the water.
was
Yeah,
what
they
was
were
in the
seeding
rain
the
dropping
clouds
down.
with psychedelic chemicals in order to make it rain on the Viet Cong.
That's
and get them all
ingenious,
high.
though. Think about it.
It's
That's
got to
fucking-
be like something that makes them unstable. You can't be like filling them full of water and meth and shit. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, crazy." Get
That's what we were doing. We were feeding our guys full of meth.
Well, that was part of
Yeah,
the problem.
Super Soldier Project.
Well,
man.
that was part of the problem. Was some of the drugs were having that super soldier effect on them, like they were just fucking cranked out and wound
Yeah.
up.
Thinking
so
they
they
could rush a tank and shit and survive.
Yeah.
All right, Freemasons. Freemasonry or Masonry
Oh, they don't exist.
refers
That's
to
rumor.
the fraternity organizations that trace their origins to the local guilds of stonemasons. That from the end of the 13th century regulated the qualifications of stonemasons and their interactions with authorities and clients. Modern Freemasonry broadly consists of two main recognizable groups: regular Freemasonry and continental Freemasonry. Basically, they believe that this is
champion.
a secret society that takes care of their own and also is somewhat connected to
The Illuminati?
Illuminati. Yeah.
I think that's true, though.
They are definitely connected to the Illuminati.
Yeah.
My father was a Mason.
He was.
My grandfather was
33rd
also.
degrees.
That's not a secret.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm just letting you know. I thought I didn't.
Well,
Well, no,
he-
I know about
think,
your
I
own.
think.
It's incredible.
Didn't you say you didn't believe this one?
And no, I've actually been asked to knock by someone.
Oh, that's right.
Remember,
I remember that.
Back on the show in, like, 2012?
Yeah.
that was
You were freaked out a
insane.
little bit.
Yeah, because some dude just came up to me in the middle of the street. Like I
No,
was
it's weird.
going out
It's-
to the
they're
mailbox,
Weird. They're fucking weird.
and they just rolled up to me. Hey, Tim, and then gave me this card. I showed you the card
I
that
remember,
day,
yeah.
and then he says, "We want you to knock," and he drove away.
Typical MO.
Come
How many
drink some-
times have they done it to you?
Drink some baby's blood.
Is that what it's about? Babies?
No.
They,
said it's like
dude, they have a ritual.
church.
They drink baby's blood, dude. Absolutely.
Oh my god.
because the dude said all they do is just praise the Lord.
Don't
Pretty
forget,
much, it's a male club.
how-
But okay, but what? At what
there's no
degree
religion
are we drinking?
that they
we're like
adhere to.
way
It's a-
up there, dude.
Yeah, because
Like
that
the
you're not
elite.
drinking at first, second, 10 degrees.
No,
You have to be
You don't
at the.
start learning anything until you start getting to your 5th level and higher.
It's an occult system based loosely on certain types
That's
of
why
religions,
certain people don't
mainly
know that.
Coptism.
Like they drink out of a human skull and bones and shit. It's gnarly.
There's no rituals, at least any that
Dude,
I've read. that-
I have been asked to investigate one of their temples. Me and
I
3
don't
other
doubt you.
people
Oh,
are
I
alone
remember.
in the giant temple, and they let us roam free.
I
The
don't
things
doubt
that we saw, we went into a room
Dude.
called the Room of Reflection. It's this black room with a little table set up on it with a mirror. You light this candle, and you contemplate things as a member. Okay. Now we were doing an investigation and trying to make contact, whatever spirit might be there, because they were saying it was haunted. Underneath the table, there was a chest. Open the chest. There are some candles, along with a human femur and a skull. The skull is pulled out, and they drink from this.
Is it open or is it underneath? How do they?
Dude, it's like a skull, and it's like cut. So you have this thing, and it's
Where the brains at?
It's really old,
You're
and
gonna
you would
spill.
use
You're
it
gonna
as a
spill.
cup.
I get it, and like I said, I don't doubt that
okay.
any of that. I'm just saying that the rituals that I've read,
So-
none of them include drinking.
Bro,
from
so
They're
check
not going to
this.
print that kind of stuff. We saw crazy
So,
shit.
I didn't.
I
didn't
interviewed-
read the things from public consumption.
I interviewed somebody that went on that trip with you. This individual said that her gift is that she can see in different periods of time. She ended up seeing and describing molestation. She ended up describing blood drinking and murder in that room. And then she said that somebody came in, they locked eyes, and she was like, he knows. He was part of it. He's the one I saw. This person that I'm talking about, she does not bullshit. I've seen her in my own personal life know things that I've done, know things that I do, and then predict things in my future. She predicted my son. The new one.
I know who this is.
It's amazing.
I know what you're talking about. Like I said, it's not. I don't dispute at all. That's not what I have heard.
He's going by public fact and records, is what he's saying.
Yeah, they don't talk about the upper level stuff.
I'm not going by public.
Okay,
I can show you the source material that I'm talking about.
I've run into a couple of these guys that I know who are kind of up there, and after they've done this ritual thing, and it's like they're on meth.
Yeah,
their eyes are all wide and crazy, and just like, whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't dispute that either.
Right.
There's, like I said, I can show you the documents that I'm talking about.
All right, we're going to move on. Agartha. Agartha is a legendary kingdom that is said to flourish underneath us, in the ground. The kingdom or above us, and another piece of land.
I thought that was Aragon.
Knock it off.
From Mordor.
Mordor.
That is said to flourish under us. The kingdom is basically said to sit within the earth and be there instead of the core we all think exists. It is enormous kingdom that stretches under the surface of the earth through an elaborate system of tunnels that connect across the entire globe and under it. Some even claim that many sources of energy from the core of the earth actually put out by the kingdom of Agartha. Has anybody heard of Agartha?
Yeah, the hollow. I read about it. I came across it when I was reading about hollow earth theory and those kinds of like subterrestrial things. The boar, the boar in Russia, the borehole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all
well. That can
jumbled together with
explain
that stuff.
That can explain UFOs, maybe.
Yeah, the borehole thing was a hoax, though.
No.
Really...
I'm talking about in Earth. And inner Earth
UFOs being seen plunging toward the ground and things like that.
Or they come out of the water.
Or out of the water, yeah.
Or they're in the sky and then go into a mountain or into a volcano.
Yeah.
I mean, it could. I'm not saying it does. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying that's what I believe.
It's not
but it's
beyond the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, that's not a far-fetched theory.
All right, astral projections. Astral projection is a term used in exotourism. Oh shit, I did that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's too far down, I think. That should be up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, why is that way down there?
Yeah.
Astral projection?
Yeah. What two is this?
that's a
2 or
good
3?
one.
This is still 2.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I mean, I think that should be 1, but I mean, okay.
Okay.
So that's not far.
It's an intentional out-of-body experience that assumes the existence of a subtle body called astral body. So, I guess it can be you've seen in the movie
Doctor Strange?
No, what is that shit?
Sandman.
Insidious,
the
where the
Menus
kid
goats.
he leaves himself, and that's what it's saying. You leave, your soul leaves your body. I've never experienced this.
I have. It's awesome.
Oh, you have?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had an experience.
I
at one
have
point.
too. I used to practice the craft all the time, and that was one of the things you would practice.
That's awesome. I can't do it anymore, but the 2 times, 1.5 times. I actually did it 1 in here.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you actual projection went to the bathroom and then you
No,
came
no,
back
no,
and peed
no,
your pants?
no.
Damn it,
No,
Stefan.
but I remember I was almost there. If this was sleep realm, if I was fully because I did it like here asleep, but it's pretty fucking chill, dude. It's awesome.
Can you fly around?
Not for me. What it was the first full time I did it, I floated up out of my body, and then I was able just to see the fucking energy, and then I turned over to see my body, and I scared myself, and I brought back to myself.
Girl, is that what I look like?
Yeah, because
Holy
I saw
shit.
myself
Fat.
out of my body, and I go, "Who's this fucking fat fuck?" And I fucking went back in my body.
You're all, fuck, I gotta go to the gym now.
You know, it's funny. The DARPA and the Army.
DARPA?
And they actually experimented with that for a good while. And the CIA actually got into it. Called it remote viewing.
Oh,
in
I
which
remember
they
that. Yeah.
They attempted to have a number of espionage agents who would astral project or remote view and go to locations of the enemy that they were curious about. And they actually got some interesting data in return from it.
They in the infancy of that project,
Like
they had people on two different. They had something on the other side of a door, and then they had somebody on this side, and they were training them to draw what's on that side.
Yeah. Their results were not terrible at all. They
And
actually got some...
it's very like, oh shit, that might be something.
Kind
You
of
know
like
what I mean?
Stranger Things where they had the kids do that stuff.
Yeah, it is. All right, the other one, the next one is succubi. A succubi is a demon or a supernatural entity in folklore in a female form that appears to dream to seduce men, usually through sexual activity. Stefan, what do you know any relevant succubi stories?
Oh,
or?
does he?
Have you ever met them?
So, right off the top, that's an entity, okay? And the succubi and the incubi are the same entity.
Is that female, male, or does it matter?
Female and male, it can change whatever form it needs.
Is that why they're named differently?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Gender still exists in the ghost realm, right? Or
Oh,
is that
totally.
spirit-
They haven't done the trans succubi yet.
It's coming.
Yeah. They're going to have their own Olympics, too. It's going to be incredible.
Great.
But
Good.
yeah, it's something that a lot of people experience during their sleep paralysis. They'll say they're being held down.
Is that what that is?
Sometimes they'll have these exotic dreams where they're almost half awake and they feel like they're like having like a wet dream or something.
Fuck yeah.
And this is the succubi trying to take the semen from the males
Oh, no.
to create these other kind of creatures.
What, like a homunculi or something?
Yeah. Have you seen those before?
I've read.
Such
You haven't seen the videos of people who have tried to make them and these things they create?
Yeah, but in a lot of cases, they're not dealing with what they think they are. In
I know, it's
the-
just
in
it's a
most of those
mutilated
cases-
chicken pretty much.
Yeah, most of those cases, it's a form of mold and infection that they've managed to incubate.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's what that is. And then the
Is sleep
the
paralysis
incubus
that
will do
what
the
it
same
is?
thing.
Is that what a sleep paralysis is?
It's
Well,
related to
sleep
it in that way.
paralysis is when your consciousness, your body is
'Cause I've
paralyzed.
had that once happen to me.
Okay. Now, there could be a few things that can cause that. There could be a natural nerve reaction that's happening, or it could be something paranormal, something that has the capabilities of, like, it gives off a long static electricity pulse that can affect your body, that can make your nerves and stuff relax, so you're kind of in that paralysis state. That's where you get the legend of the old
Demon
sea
City
hags
Mag?
and stuff like that torment and torture people when they're like half asleep.
Because that shit was freaky. I remember I was like 15 years old and that happened where I'm consciously awake, but I have no control of my body. Like I cannot move. And all I heard was just a buzzing, like snow in my ear. And this weird gong. It was really it was like almost like an Undertaker kind of like gong. But I didn't put that together until I started watching wrestling again. I was thinking like, man, that kind of really sounded like the Undertaker's gong. And like static noise. It was so fucking scary.
All right, next one, Nephilim. The Nephilim are mysterious beings or people in the Hebrew Bible who are large and strong. The word Nephilim is loosely translated as giants in some translations of the Hebrew Bible, but left untranslated in others. Jewish explanations interpret them as hybrid sons of fallen angels, which would be angels or demons that then mated with a human being.
She calls me a Nephilim. Shout out to my mom calling me a Nephilim.
That lady basketball player that's like held captive in Russia looks like a giant.
She's tall.
And she's a
Good
stupid
observation.
person. She's
Like a
not
dude.
smart. She's not a smart person.
She might be one of them.
Don't bring weed into another country.
Especially Russia.
All right. Did you ever hear of a story? And because I told the story when we went over giants, because giants is in tier 1. Did you ever see something where there was a giant inside a cave in Afghanistan and ended up tearing up a bunch of military?
Yeah, I have heard some horror stories of the cave systems in Afghanistan to that effect. Yeah, like either like skunk ape or giant beast type thing.
Do you think that is possible? The possibility for there to be a larger Nephilim somewhere in the world?
I mean, it's possible. I think that if there were in that particular cave system, like the CIA probably would have found it when they dug out most of them.
Would they have though? And would it be public information?
Well, I don't know if it'd be public, but I'm sure they
So it
would have
reminds me
encountered
of
it.
that movie Midnight Mass.
I just think there'd be more stories to that, but it could just be, you know, Afghanistan. It's pretty much a fucking media blackout anyway, especially for nuanced shit like stories of cave creatures. You're not going to really get a lot of that kind of information out of there, so it could just be that. I mean, there's validity to it. There's those kinds of stories of people encountering terrifying things in caves all over the world,
and
especially
Bigfoot.
in that Asian subcontinent.
We already talked about
region.
Bigfoot though.
Yeah, but it's just another sub branch of that.
Interdimensional creature.
All right, the missing cosmonauts, the lost cosmonauts or phantom cosmonauts, are subjects of a conspiracy theory alleging that some Soviet cosmonauts went to outer space, but their existence has never been publicly acknowledged by either Soviet or Russia space authorities.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, finish the description. Then I'll jump in.
Proponents of the lost cosmonauts theory argue that the Soviet Union attempted to launch human space flights before Yuri Gagarin first space flight, and that the cosmonauts on board died in those attempts. The Soviet military pilot Vladimir Ilyich was alleged to have landed off course and been held by the Chinese government.
Yeah, they don't release the information about their early origins of their space program, for obvious reasons. So there's a lot of rumors, and there's even some evidence that points to just that they did send people into orbit and never recovered them. There was one individual in somewhere in one of the Baltic states.
No, there's no goulash for you.
There was someone in one of the Baltic states who had claimed that he was hearing radio transmissions of cosmonauts who were gone, man. They couldn't be recovered. Either they experienced a catastrophic failure
or
in their
just kept on
craft,
going,
or in their propulsion of some kind, and were off course and were headed out. He claimed that it happened 2 times, and then he got a recording of it the 3rd time that it happened.
Jeez.
And the recording does appear to be the voice of a female cosmonaut desperately trying to contact.
You heard that?
Yeah.
Now I know
Yeah.
it's fake because it's a female Russian cosmonaut. Come on.
No, because I heard the recording itself.
Yeah, I've heard the recording too.
They're gonna put.
And she's like going into panic and shit, like
Yeah,
she's burning up or
she's
trying
freaking
to
out,
come back in.
And you can actually even hear the control station on a couple of them. They had to be using some kind of like point past encryption to where like every other one of their transmissions just didn't get picked up.
So what was she saying?
She was radioing her position. She was describing seeing the Earth moving
Further away.
Well, she described seeing the horizon of the Earth moving downward. So
That way they know you're positioning that
she's
way.
coming away from the Earth,
Yeah.
still with sufficient velocity to break free from gravity. And
so do you think she's off the space station?
no, the recording was made in 70s.
No, but like
70s
where
or
where
80s?
in
Early
the
70s.
rotation or in the
Is she
atmosphere
going
is she?
up or down?
Is
Going
she?
away from the Earth?
But where did she?
Propulsion off of
Was
it.
she off of?
And at a certain point, it comes back to where she actually accounts being burned on re-entry, coming back into the atmosphere.
Oh shit!
Because she
So
keeps
she
screaming
comes
and she's
up,
like, I'm burning
and
up,
then
I'm
comes
burning,
back
I'm
down.
burning.
Yeah, she describes, what's happening in the capsule.
There's a
how
lot
things
of
are beginning
fuckery
to
that
melt
went
and
around with that
destroy.
space station that time, huh?
Is it going down or up? I still don't get it.
She went
said-
up
No,
over
she
the
went up
horizon and then she came
down.
back down,
Oh,
perished in the atmosphere.
Oh, okay, now okay.
burned
now
up in the atmosphere because she was
Fuck.
off course. And all the positioning, everything was wrong.
That's why that's pretty. It's funny that you've heard that recording. I had to like.
Hunt it down.
All right,
No,
we
it
have,
just came while you rabbit hole shit. And
Yeah.
Eventually, you come.
It's on
across
YouTube.
it.
I'm assuming.
all right,
I
we
have
have,
a whole
sure it
lot
is,
of shit, so that's why I heard it.
we have 2 more. Operation Bluebeam. According to Sergei von Stott, the
Fake name. McGillicuddy right there, dude.
The 4-step project designed by NASA and the United Nations would allow these organizations to accomplish what he believed to be their ultimate goal of creating a new age religion led by the Antichrist in order to start a new world order dictatorship. NASA would implement Project Bluebeam. Monsat believed with a system of advanced mind control as well as top secret technology in order to trick everyone into believing there'd been a second coming of sorts. But first, step 1 of Project Bluebeam would involve the manufacture of artificial artificially to create earthquakes in strategic locations around the world. These earthquakes would, according to conspirators and hoaxes, unearth artifacts indicating that the religious doctrines of all nations had been misunderstood for centuries, thus discrediting all religions. And then they make them believe whatever religion they uncover, and then undergo the one world religion.
It's sort of like a Dutch door action with the Holy Grail.
Yeah. I'm gonna say with that one, I mean, just my personal opinion, I've heard of Operation Bluebeam before. I don't doubt that the people in this world would do something like that. I think we're very, very selfish. We only care about ourselves and our own. A majority of us, the people that are in charge of us, or in leadership positions, I think money controls all now, and I wouldn't put anything past them to try to somehow make $1.
Well, I mean, it doesn't even have to be now. Read about Project or Operation November.
I haven't even heard that one.
and you'll learn a little bit about what people can be capable of.
Well, I bet you Operation November's in something coming up.
I don't want to spoil it for you. Go ahead.
Do not.
Is Board Yacht Club in that anywhere? In that thing, Iceberg?
Not in
that
this
tier?
one, no.
Oh, okay, it's probably
Not
an
yet.
older one.
All right, and then the last one, they mix together
How about that one?
occult knowledge, which is the dark arts, as well as magica. I don't know, man.
Board Ape Yacht Club.
I don't. Do you think there's such thing as dark arts, and have you experienced it, Stefan?
Yes.
Are you considered a dark art guy? Because you investigate paranormal.
No.
No.
Okay. What is it theoretically?
Dark arts is witchcraft, any type of crafting you're doing. And it's not just some type of craft, because everything you do with the craft is intention. If you're trying to do harm, you're relying on lower level vibrating darker entities versus higher level vibrating entities.
Is that the same with what Patty does? Because she's a good witch or whatever in that craft?
She is a good witch. She does not play with anything dark.
But the lady, I forgot her name. This escapes me. She does practice dark art.
What lady?
The one that she in the Paracon, the one next to her. Well, anyway, the lady next to her practices. She does dark arts, like with understanding.
What's the
demons.
difference between dark and dark
what
arts?
Patty, and what Patty does.
The energy level you're calling upon, what type of energy source it is.
So when you're doing dark arts, what is the dark energy? Are you talking demons, devils?
Well, those are terms that are Catholic based.
Yeah,
But-
they
but-
don't really describe.
Yeah. So
The type
there
of
are
thing.
energy sources down there that are very dark, and they have special strength to them. That's why even with Star Wars we talk about the power of the dark side and crap like that. You know, so you can call upon these energies and intermix them into your craft to go do your bidding if that's what it is. You know, it's very, very dangerous stuff.
Is that what it is?
I've been through all of it all. I've seen it all, man. And the dark stuff's really, really icky stuff.
And there's hundreds of different systems of rituals
Yeah.
that exist that people practice in order to.
And
But
I teach at a
it's
school
whatever they
which
want,
has them all,
really.
so I get to really see them all and what they do in detail. Like my friend Kadrick, the Viking guy that showed up and he spoke at the
Yeah.
Paracon. He's more of a gray witch. He likes the gray zones a little bit, not so much the white stuff, but he kind of walks that barrier between the two. And a lot of people do. You know, and then there's people who just like to stick to the bright lights, and that's where you get a lot of these meditative psychics and stuff coming in. They're always calling upon the positive energy flow of these white beings.
And of the earth too, right?
Yeah.
Do you think, because you brought up Star Wars, do you think Star Wars got a lot of motivation for that? Because you said great. I mean,
Well-
there's great Jedi's, there's dark side, light
Yeah.
side.
They mix all that stuff in it, but that's just how everything has been since the beginning of time, regardless of whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, all the governments fighting for whatever. Everyone's got to be a good guy and a bad guy.
Yeah, it's our
You
most
know.
popular theme.
Yeah, so it's just part of it, you know.
Well, this has been the Conspiracy Iceberg theories. The Conspiracy Theory Iceberg, sorry. Tier 2, Part 1. Join us next week for part 2 of the conspiracy theory Iceberg Tier 2. In that one, we will go over the shelled fermented Earth, Men in Black, UFOs, the boy in the box, reality simulation, clown sightings, deviations, space is fake, intelligent design, LA oil rigs, ghost girls, Operation Fishbowl, archangels and demons, philosopher's stone, my red isn't your red, an aura, amazing. That we just had that on today. Bohemian Grove, Snuff Cinema, Gang Stalkers, The Crystal Skulls, Saturn Rings, Polar Shift, Large Hadron Collider.
Well, those are the good ones.
World War
how long is
II
the show
Black
gonna
Book,
be next week?
Butterfly Effect, and the Oil Pit Squid. That's next week.
Is that the whole tier?
Tier 2. There's 10 tiers.
That was tier 3.
No, that's tier 2.
I
Or
thought-
tier 2, part 2.
Yeah, part 2.
Oh
of tier
shit,
two.
these are
Oh
all
my
tiers.
God.
Yeah, we're gonna be here forever.
Yeah.
That's,
We
all,
just
that's the idea.
We need a spin-off show for this one.
I know.
Well, that right there is you follow us, and we are going to do that. It's a series.
And
So we're
don't
finished.
forget, if you guys think of something that we're not thinking about, a topic, go ahead and put it in the comments, and we'll look into that, and it might end up on the next tier.
And we might have messed up. If we mess up on anything, let us know. We're not perfect. We're not smart, especially me, dude. I'm the dumbest guy here. I wear a hat, for God's sakes.
I wouldn't say all that.
Well, I mean, I'm next to Suzanne. I'm the dumbest person.
No, I'm the smartest.
Right. Hey, this is a red light to show in. Who wants to
Red
say thank
light?
you? All right, here we go.
Can you subscribe, please? And like?
Hit that bell so you know when you're
Jeez.
Don't sound so desperate, dude. You gotta like be cool about it. Oh, and hey, while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe
That's
button
right.
at the bottom of the screen.
They'll be like,
Do it
"Oh,
one more
please
time for the
like
people at
us.
home.
I
The
want
camera?
someone
Want
to
to.
like me.
If you really want to, you could even share and leave a comment.
Yeah.
Dude, you're the man, dude.